Right, so it's just killing time until the reinforcements arrive here. Another 4.5 hours game time. Just poured it over here. Figured I'd explore, see what's back here. City in the Wastelands I like to check out. Yes, so it's a warm, sunny day in the wound, perhaps too warm and sunny. Sarkorian wastelands are roasting, the heat of the purple, shimmering sun. Even demonic plants are unable to survive here. They suffocate in the red dust of the plains. A hot wind seeps across the wastelands, leaving the commander with the taste of ash and sulfur in his mouth. The commander can see for miles around in every direction. If there were enemies nearby, they would not be able to sneak up on him unnoticed. However, it does not look like anyone has survived the excruciating heat in the wound. The only sign of life is the sound of insects buzzing nearby. Their chittering noises sound like harsh, rasping laughter. The heat causes the air to shimmer slightly, and through the haze, the commander notices the walls of a city rising up a short distance from the road. Is this a lost Sarkorian city, a demonic trap, or just a trick of the mind? The walls look real, but perhaps they are only a mirage. The commander realizes that it is impossible to tell from this distance, so he decides to explore the mysterious city, of course. The walls are partially buried in red sand, and as the commander draws closer, he realizes this is not a city, but the sun-bleached remains of a Sarkorian settlement. The buzzing grows louder, and the commander can see Vescivores perched on the stone slabs as they bask in the sun. The husks of their dead kin crunch beneath the commander's feet with every step. The commander notices rotten wood pillars covered in faded Sarkorian runes. The tops of the pillars have been gnawed into a sharp point, making them look like long wooden stakes. The highest of these pillars seem to be a signpost in the middle of what used to be a busy crossroads. The passage of time has worn away all but 3 words on the signpost: square, marketplace, and gem. The commander decides to try and visit the city using his knowledge of Sarkorian history. Wow, I even know more than any of. Durden looks around and recognizes the surrounding streets. He has seen them depicted in some ancient maps. The drawings on the walls depict horses and herds of sheep, offering further confirmation of the commander's theory. This is Domora, a city of herdsmen that was lost a long time ago. The commander recognizes the majestic temple of Gozra that towers over the other buildings. The temple used to be a local landmark and attracted countless pilgrims. The underground aqueducts built under the temple supplied the city with drinking water, sourced from a lake that has long since dried up. The commander is sure that this is Domora, but its appearance here is inexplicable. The city of Domora is located far away on the western border of ancient Sarkoris. However, there are many strange phenomena and anomalies in the world wound. This must simply be one of them. Switch for the Vescivore Queen. This is your job, Lan. Lan examines the houses closely. It looks like a battle took place here. The walls of the houses have been damaged or destroyed. All that is left of the roofs are a few wooden beams. The commander turns his attention to the insects. He notices the Vescivore seem to be flying in a single direction toward the city square. Is that a fact? Should we hold off that for later, or check that out now? I might as well, right? Get it out of the way. Let's go to the square. The winding streets leads to the square, lined with partially destroyed houses. Many of them only have 3 walls, and others are nothing more than piles of rubble. Commander notices more and more Vescivores flying around, and the air is filled with a strange, acrid smell. The square is completely empty, but the doors of Gozra's temple swing open. A woman emerges through them and begins to limp toward the commander. She is stripped to the waist and looks as though insects are squirming beneath her skin. Livor mortis has discolored her withered, shriveled flesh, turning into a blotchy purple color. She opens her mouth to speak, but the words come out low buzz that is neither masculine nor feminine. Verbovorzor welcomes you, esteemed guest. Please make yourself at home. The woman falls silent and then collapses to the ground. A small swarm of Vescivores fly out of her motionless corpse. The insects hover near the commander, as if waiting for him to follow them. The commander decides to. Well, I don't want to be an ungracious guest, do I? Follow the swarm. The swarm flies through the air, unhindered by the obstacles on the ground. The commander has to climb over debris and walk through the partially collapsed buildings to follow the buzzing insects. Finally, the swarm flies down into a blissfully cool, dark hole beneath one of the walls. It does not look large enough for a person to fit through. The commander decides to. Widen the hole. Should be easy for him. Durden makes the hole larger by knocking out a few loose stones from the surrounding masonry. The hole is now wide enough for him to fit through safely. The cool, damp air of the underground passage feels good against the commander's hot skin, but the chittering of the Vescivores becomes even more intense. The commander finds himself in a labyrinth of underground passages. These are obviously not natural caverns, although the stonework of the underground aqueduct, quite a rarity for Sarkorian, is almost completely hidden under a layer of squirming Vescivores. The walls, the ceiling, and the floor squirm and move like the bowels of a living creature. The insects block all passages except for one, and the passage is growing smaller by the minute, prompting the commander to move faster. The passage ends abruptly. The commander finds himself staring down into a huge well. The passage is dimly lit, but the bottom of the well is lost in impenetrable darkness. This could be the area beneath the water tower, but it is impossible to know for sure without a map of the city's underground passages. The well is filled with the sound of buzzing Vescivores. Commander can smell their sweet scent wafting up from the darkness. The smell reminds him of the sweet caramel sold at Canabras' city festival. Memories of the day come flooding back. For a moment, the commander feels as though he is back in the town square. As if in answer to his thoughts, a giant figure of Discari rises up from the depths of the well. Suddenly, a crossbow bolt pierces the demon lord. The figure dissipates into thousands of swarming Vescivores. Both Discari and the bolt were formed out of insects. More scenes flash before the commander's eyes. Ash and smoke fill the skies during the battle for Dresden, leaving a sour taste in the commander's tongue. Both familiar and unfamiliar people and places appear for a moment, then vanish. It is for some unknown creature is trying to see in the commander's mind and access his memories. Yet the creature seems tentative and cautious, almost as if seeking the commander's permission. The commander decides it's time to. Asking my permission? Also, you're going to be nice about it. Those person whose consciousness. Well, there's a swarm in his mind, and suddenly, as a vision, feels so real it's almost like a memory. Commander standing in Dresden, or is it Canabras, or maybe even Neuroscion? In the vision, he is watching the sun set over the city of Dresden, or Canabras, or Neuroscion. A priest of some unknown deity approaches the commander. The priest, the commander isn't sure if it is a man or a woman, has no face. There is only a mouth where the face should be, and when the mouth speaks, the words sound like buzzing of thousands of insects. We are Verbovizor. Verbovizor has heard about the one who defeated the mighty demon lords. It harbors a special hatred towards Discari, and like to know more about his weakness. He wishes to fight the demon lord and defeat him. The commander asks who Verbovizor is and where he's from. The answer does not come immediately, and the commander sees the purple skies of the abyss over the city of Dresden, or is it Kennebrus, or near Sion. Verbovisor has spent years gnawing the flesh of fallen demon lords, but now a man from Demora, the city of great herds, has summoned it to fight against the barbarians. A pathetic bunch of mortal thugs. Verbovisor calls up from the depths, and when the mortal fool opens the way to Golorion, Verbovisor flies up and devours the city it was summoned to defend. It leaves behind a hollow shell, a city of empty streets and silent buildings. The city walls will lure passing travelers into a deadly trap. But silence is not what the swarm craves. There is no life, no thought in the silence. Verbovisor wants to understand everything. It wants to comprehend Golorion, to make it a part of itself. It wants to become Golorion, just as it has become the city. It wants to incorporate all of Golorion's essence, all of its life into itself. But there are some obstacles. There are those who wish to plunge Golorion into oblivion. Verbovisor hates Discari, it hates Baphomet. They must be destroyed. In the commander's vision, the sound of cicadas fills the air as the sun sinks below the horizon. They grow louder and more impatient. Echoing noise of agitated Vescivores in the well, the commander tries to focus and... well, I don't see how telling it... I get a 56 from Bluff? In that case, I will go for it. So there was a account of the scary about my servants, who keeps some of the key details a secret. Day passes the night, and then night becomes day. Verbovisor thanks the commander politely for telling the truth, and promises to help the commander in battle if he continues to be a good ally. Verbovisor assures the commander that it will remember his scent, and come when needed. The commander chooses to... I don't need your help. Commander gave the swarm information it wanted. Vescivores will not stand in his way. The swarm bids the commander farewell and flies back down the well. The commander is free to leave. After being the cool air underground, the heat outside feels even more unbearable. The sightless eyes of the city's residents are fixed on the commander. When the commander glances around at these silent onlookers, he feels the overwhelming desire to... well, if the city's a giant trap with an evil horde in it, I should probably burn it to the ground, shouldn't I? Commander sets the city ablaze, but he makes sure that no harm comes to the Temple of Gozra as its center. No one tries to extinguish the fire. The Vescivores leave their shelters of flesh behind and fly away in all directions. The rotting corpses turn to ash, and the walls are covered in soot. The roaring inferno subsides. The crackling of flames is replaced by another sound of running water. Streams of clear water flow out from beneath the door of Gozra's temple and cascade down the entrance steps. The underground stream that has bubbled up to the surface signals the return of the deity who once presided here. Commander feels the touch of Gozra's blessing. A gust of fresh air gently caresses his face. Demora has been freed. The city is no longer a Vescivore trap. Happy ending, people. I'm already capped on diplomacy, but okay. Everyone wants Beast Might. But my,
Mysteries can wait till tomorrow.
Quiet, anyhow.
I tire of waiting.
Are we ready to move out?
Might as well preemptively buff, because
Move. Let us be off.
a pony? Unexpected sounds break the menacing, monotonous atmosphere of the world one. Business-like chatter, the lazy neighs of ponies, the clatter of instruments, and rising above everything else, a rather expressive voice. A flying ship? How could you even think of proposing such a thing? Next you'll tell me we should travel by portals or streak across the sky in a winged chariot. And don't look at me like that, I know what you mean. This cart has experienced things you wouldn't see in your worst nightmare. That it's time to retire and put its wheels up beside the fire, axles creaking as it tells its cart grandchildren stories of its wild youth. But I can afford more reliable transportation than this wreck. Jubilost, is this guy from Kingmaker? To this I will say that great explorers and discoverers set out their expeditions on foot. And they didn't complain about it. You can't even survive comfortable ground-based travel on an ordinary cart. That the owner of the expressive voice turns to you and nods. I didn't expect anyone else. Jubilost Narthropple. It's just passing through. The name sounds familiar to you. Narthropple is an eccentric gnome scholar from Absalom. Traveler, explorer, popularizer of science, journalist, and author of a dozen books and countless articles. Due to his overly sharp tongue, he's been sentenced to death or exile by no fewer than 3 or 4 nations of Galorion. Every year, new rumors surface of his death at the hands of some offended monarch or another. Heard of you? Scientist explorer, aren't you? Jubilost Narthropple. Scientist, traveler, cartographer, journalist, lecturer. Ponies! They're so cute and chubby. Just like Soot. May I pet your ponies, please? Jubilost stops short and glares at Ember with indignation. Ember looks back at him in innocent devotion, waiting for his permission. Oh well, fine. You may pet the ponies, girl. Now then, where were we? I'm Jubilost Narthropple, a scientist and journalist at your service. Jubilost Narthropple, the author of Distillation Magical Liquids in the Field. Yes, that's me. I take it I have the honor of speaking to a fellow scientist? With a fellow scientist and a successful rival, future successful rival, I intend to take your place in the department at the College of Mysteries. On my way to the headmaster's seat, naturally. By the way, the blood of mythic demons cannot be distilled by your method, and neither can the slime of an ordinary carnivorous blob. Obviously not. My distillation method was developed for distillations carried out on the material plane, for liquids originating on the material plane. Demon blood does not meet the conditions. For extraplanar liquids, I've developed a new method, described in my article in the first issue of National Alchemy in 4817. We got a whole century to go before 4817. Yes, of course, that's correct, but the article is scheduled for publication in advance. To be fair, I do not require data on extraplanar entities for my encyclopedia. Therefore, demons and their blood, as such, do not interest me. But I have yet finished the section on cult alchemists. The main focus of their work is potions based on demon blood. To support my thesis that the average cult alchemist lacks any real knowledge of the subject, I need to make a breakthrough in this field. An approach worthy of a true scientist, at which I could linger and try to reconstruct my method from memory, but I don't have any time to spare. So you're an encyclopedist? And at the same time a practitioner and a field researcher? That's right, I'm Nenio. I need to clarify a couple of details. I'll figure out the rest on my own. Of course, I'd be happy to be of assistance. Even if nothing comes of it, we could continue this discussion by correspondence. In silence. It's certainly possible, but let's return to the issue at hand. To what degree should I saturate the blood with steam during distillation? My previous attempt resulted in an explosion, which suggests the durability of a standard distillation apparatus is not without limit. To what degree? Saturate what? You're just using direct distillation? I am. Dry steam distillation is not a viable option. What absolutely, utterly inconceivable nonsense. In my second article in the National Alchemy, I proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the direct distillation is not suitable for magical liquids, and only properly isolated steam coil allows us to consider the distillation process effective. In the section of my encyclopedia detailing the uses of distillation apparatuses, I completely unravel every argument of your work on the benefits of dry steam distillation. Ha! So you're interested in distillation, dear colleague? Excellent. Then subscribe to National Alchemy and wait until my article reaches these parts. I'm afraid I'm in a rush and cannot offer you any advice on the subject. So where did we leave off, Commander? Commander, I haven't introduced myself yet. Obviously. It's about my acumen. Surely you didn't expect a renowned scientist to be so ignorant as to not recognize the most significant historical figure of this region and era? What's wrong with your card? Oh, I suppose I should have led with this. Sadly, my card is struck and my assistants, as it turns out, are completely incapable of applying the most simple and practical skills in fixing the blasted wagon. I appreciate your help, Commander. All you need to do is attach the wheel, clear the road, and claim the poor ponies. The world wound causes them great stress. You're just passing through so deep in the world wound? What's bothering you? Of course, I didn't mean to stay, and this happened by accident. Passing through something means I do not intend to conduct extensive research or educational work here. Just make a few observations here and there. That doesn't sound in the slightest bit suspicious. Aha! Paralictor Durang, I presume. Over many years of service, I've seen no fewer than 5 requests for an interview or comment on certain events for the Independence. You've denied every one of them. What a pity. I'm no longer a Paralictor, and therefore 4 requests from you. Furthermore, I have no intention of cooperating with an individual like you under any circumstances. Some of your stunts, especially those related to so-called freedom of speech, border on incitement. And why, pray tell, does a representative of the Hell Knights dislike freedom of speech? Your organization claims to be absolute bastion of law and order. I'm sure you've nothing to fear, as a free press could hardly besmirch those who have no sins and no machinations on their conscience. I see. After 4 denials, you decided to change tactics and use the crude method of get me to comment on the Order's activities. I must disappoint you a 5th time by not saying another word. I'll see what I can do here. It was wonderful. Don't think me an ungrateful lout. I'll be sure to mention your generosity in the article about this encounter. I'm going to take some notes and maybe get started on repairs, Commander. Okay, so probably have to do all these at some point. Let's clear the way. Your efforts are not in vain. The pile of junk blocking the path has been swept aside. A thought just occurred to me, Commander. You think of your place in history. You've done the unthinkable. You've renounced your mythical powers. Do you regret it? Few would have given up such power or immortality. Perhaps fate has been far from ordinary, but I'm satisfied with the path I've chosen and the person I've become. And are those forced to follow you happy? Those who depend on you? Or are you of those people who goes out without bothering to ask the opinions of others? Then again, who am I to lecture on the great figures of our time? Be on your way. It does not lead you. Just stand here by the side of the road and take some notes. On the ponies? The ponies' eyes seem oddly intelligent. You get the uneasy feeling the ponies are playing along with your attempts to calm them. Chuckling to themselves, still they obediently stand where they're supposed to, ready to pull the cart. Hey, Mr. Narthropple, did you fall asleep or something? I haven't heard any snide comments or philosophical rants for a good 6 minutes now. Something is clearly amiss. What was that? An attempt to practice your wit at my expense? Not bad for an amateur, but it's a useful quality. Sadly, it's not always accompanied by intelligence to assess whom you can safely mock and whom you should leave alone. Can we fix the wheel? Probably not. Let's give it a shot. While the wheel is attached, the axle almost rotates. Even the most greedy gambler wouldn't bet trying to stay in place for 15 minutes on the road. I did what I could. What? Oh, yes. Well, I suppose I should be on my way. How unfortunate. I haven't yet satisfied my curiosity. What can you do? Time waits no one. I feel like there's something I'm telling you, Mr. Narthropple. There are many strange slips in your speech, your demeanor. Just admit acting is not one of my talents. I was hoping to casually run into you in a completely natural way, then ask a few questions. But it is tricky to appear natural when this chance encounter takes place in the middle of the world wound, and you come from the future. Ah. Yes, exactly as I said, some of my friends. Many in number, but acting as one can do the most curious things to time. I humbly asked them for an opportunity to meet the legendary commander of the Fifth Crusade in person. I desperately wanted to take a few notes on such fateful figure in Lorian's history from my article on the Age of Lost Omens. I hope you're not angry about this small masquerade, and even if you are angry, I'm still satisfied. So this is known as the Age of Lost Omens we're in now. Alright, best of luck to you. Hope you come by these parts again. Not. My apologies, but 1,000 more discoveries await me. I can't say I am in one place for too long, but I am glad to have met you. The conversation provided me much food for thought. Farewell, Commander. Golden Toad. Having already turned his cart, Jubilost suddenly slaps himself in the forehead. Almost forgot. I was asked to give you this. Golden Toad, Golden Toad. Toad statue made of solid gold. Looks more like an idol, decorative figure. Dimension door. What else we got? Demon blood, some money. Oh, I need to hide a magical creature. I can make that thing with Storyteller now. Oh, conscription, indeed. Bonus fire, only art of war was important. Oswald abandoned in the war against the world wound with the fatal flood of temples, higher protein, and might of the Crusades. Yes, yes, yes. Legendary spell sounds pretty awesome. 2 spellcasters, a druid and a medium, are asking to be allowed access to the relic containing Baphomet's fire. Rituals will empower the relic. The commander will have to choose who gets the right to approach the dark flame aboard the beasts. The medium, you get treacherous flame, and the druid, call of the fiery things. Baphomet's the Lord of Beasts? I thought that was like the hunter guy. The night they fire with themselves. Well, these actives where suffers 2/6 damage. Damage bypass. All resistance immunities per round, but similar to enemies with every melee attack it hits. In addition, where the wearer is mounted, they have the ability mount. They can use this ability on a mount instead of themselves. I don't have a mount. Sneak attack on enemy, it becomes vulnerable. 1 round. It suffers an additional 2d fire damage. Additionally, when the enemy is hit by the wearer at least once, takes fire to any source. Minus the penalty on all saves for 2 rounds. The medium is nice. The wandering medium heard of the spirit of Curious, the ever-burning Baphomet's fire. Tortured by the flame, the priest became disillusioned with his master and yearned for revenge. The medium awakened the burnt priest's voice, and now Curious's guile will serve the new owner of the relic. That's what I like to hear. Six reform. Let's clean up, do. Executioner, a chilling piece. Truth about one of Dresden's jailers come to light. He secretly became a worshipper of Zon Kuthon. Terrorized all the prisoners and learned magic that allowed him to use his brutal punishments to leech the life force from his victims. Okay, it's darkness, envy, loss, pain. Okay, it's some lore for you there. Yeah, you've been a naughty boy. Acolytes of Zonkuthon do not belong in a sacred army. Seeing the jailer punished convinced the soldiers that they were right to follow the command. Commander, although you were once again victorious in your last encounter with Zeda, I'm worried. We've been interrogating the prisoners, and some interesting information has come to light. It seems Meda intends to fundamentally alter his strategy and be on the defensive next time we fight. That is uncharacteristic of him. Indeed, it's uncharacteristic of demons generally. For the most part, they all prefer a ruthless onslaught. Our enemy seeks to counter us with a robust formation, overwhelm us with ranged assaults, and grind our attacks to dust, one after another. Opposing demons who fight defensively is unknown territory, and we must be prepared for it. I suggest we train our infantry in ways of withstanding enemy shots. It should secure our victory in a ranged duel. What's this I'm hearing? The demons are afraid and want to fight on the defensive? Perfect! Let them stand there and wait while our cavalry mows them down. The demons intend to fight in a disciplined manner, a plan destined for failure. We will send our infantry out to meet them and see who blinks first on attacks. So if we get a grip on our infantry's throat, we will surround their entire force and crush it. So the demons have decided to play with us while they don't know who they're dealing with. Give me, let's see, a few daring riders, and I'll put the kibosh on Krasman's whole strategy, no matter how great general he is. I defeated him once, and I'll do it again. That's what I was hoping for, but I would advise against underestimating our opponent. Meda is like an angry old wolf. Yes, he growls and grins like the others, but he's much smarter, more perceptive, and more experienced than the rest of his kind, and he learns. He's learned from his mistakes, and now he wants to radically reevaluate his tactics. If you think this is normal behavior for a demon general, you are mistaken. Zeda may well present us with some unpleasant prizes when we next meet. It's everybody's opinions. Cielo, what do you suggest? We don't even need a strategy. It works great for us if the demons want to stand there like statues and defend. Our cavalry is fast and deadly. Containing the enemy is all we need to do to turn this whole defensive tactic into we walk right into a trap and we can't get out. So in essence, you're suggesting we place the burden of winning battles solely on the cavalry, which means the bulk of our losses would be most valuable and least recoupable troops. It would be wiser to set the demons on the infantry. Alright, Regal, I haven't had the slightest doubt that the demons will fail to change their own fundamental nature, unless will not suddenly become disciplined army capable of either restraint or execution of complex plans. We'll send the infantry out against the enemy. Close, a stone's throw from the ranks. The demon's discipline will falter, and they'll be tempted to bait and break formation. Then we attack with everything we have and crush them. Karamzada thinks he can play our own rules against us. That will be his fatal mistake. What is Greybore saying? There's this trick called Brat on a String. Imagine some guards standing watch. A snotty urchin walks up to them, calls them every name he knows, throws a handful of ox manure at them, then darts into an alleyway. Could you resist the temptation to chase after him and grab him by the ear? No one resists. And in the alleyway, obviously, they find me with an axe in each hand. I fulfilled a number of contracts by catching the victim's bodyguards with a brat on a string. Which got me thinking, maybe to work in a bigger fight too? A few riders prancing around on their steeds, shouting obscenities, their every gesture just begging, run after me, catch me, kill me. You think demons will resist the urge? They'll forget every order they were given and charge forward. So I may point out this tactic seems reckless, a battle plan trivialized excess of a few daredevils. Okay, Captain Odin, what's your suggestion? The demons want to adopt a defensive stance? Well, that's their business, but it's no reason to change our own strategy. The battle will turn into a ranged duel. We'll move our infantry ahead as a tempting target for enemy fire. I'm certain our soldiers will do their duty with distinction, and while they're launching one pointless volley after another into a shield wall of our infantry, our sharpshooters will be felling them one by one. Paying our soldiers as a response, vile. Alright. Cavalry units. Bait? What's this do? Taunt. Juicy target. Point us in a 3x3 area. Try to move toward the unit. Tag it for 1 round. It's basically the same thing as Greybore. Only his is like an AoE that lasts for 1 round. Greybore is just like 1 unit. Lasts for 3 rounds. Well, that's only cavalry units, though. I don't like that. There's only ranged units. I like this one, bait. Yeah, Regal, brief the infantry's officers. I'll ensure discipline in the ranks is improved. That's what the infantry is for, to be shield. Takes the mightiest blow, wouldn't you agree? Thank you for your time, Commander. I'll be with the briefing officers on our new strategy at once. Once all preparations are finished, I'll be at your disposal again. Is this guy in? demon. Attack formation. There's teeth on it. Well, I'll be. You really did come back from the abyss itself. You're just finding this out now. Commander, you amaze me. Well, if you're doing miracles now, maybe you can pull our logistics out of the abyss while you're at it. Because your absence, that's exactly where it's all gone, all the way to the bottom. We're short of quite literally everything. I'll take this as sedition, Commander, but I'll get you straight. Right now, there's no way of acquiring anything legally. Her Majesty squeezed all she could of Mendev to march on Iz, and been left with a bunch of measly crumbs. Fortunately, I still have my old connections in Mendev. The nation has been in chaos for the last few months without the Queen watching over them. Everyone's taking anything that's not nailed down. But I know how to make sure we get something out of this madness. Just a bit here and there. I don't like this. I get it, this isn't the time to be squeamish, but joining on the plundering of Mendev, that's too low. If we can avoid it, let's sell our own spoils on the black market instead of stealing. Oh, some more detail. Now what's your advice? Times are tough, I can't afford to stay squeaky clean, but my conscience won't let me get ransacked our nation. It's hour of need. Still have a few things lying around, don't we? Let's not go any further than using services of the black market. We need in exchange for what we have. I expect you trying to get your hands clean in a hopeless situation, but that's the thing. Both our warehouse and coffers are empty. Where are you going to trade when we run out? Dorlega, what are you thinking? The goal is not to get too brazen, but we shouldn't be missing out either. I've got connections all over Mendev, old army pals, drinking partners, long overdue debtors. Each one will get us a cart, barrel, a chest. It will be improvement on what we have, at least. The treasury won't notice because we won't take enough to cause a fuss. Just a weight discrepancy here, some cargo that must be dried out or fallen off transit there. Alright. Corruption. Selling excesses. Distribution of trophies. Corruption. Self-confidence? Is it permanent or what? I think we have enough resources actually. I can just buy whatever I want. It shouldn't be a problem. Take no part in the planning of Mendev. The meeting is over. So you're sticking to your conscience? Then I guess we'll have to tighten our belts. For no of you, of course, it's a shame our conscience can't fill an empty belly or slay demons. I can slay demons, no problem. Can't really stress this enough. We're in a right bind here. We're doing everything we can to resolve it. But I have no doubt this council will need to be convened again shortly. Cannot sanction those actions. Should be able to crush these guys, no problem. Ooh. Saving throw succeeded. Bully for you. Another one. Uh-oh. Ignore that dude, he's just summoned. What? Shank. Zero to 6 of them, so let's see. Much better, much better. In the Torrenton that serves as command base to the defeated unit, the soldiers find several notes with instructions from some influential demon of the Threshold Fortress. Through studying them carefully, the officers drew a number of important conclusions to the demon's tactics. If these conclusions are correct or not, that remains to be seen in the battles to come. And I need to get Storyteller to make me that thing. I think I have the mats for it now. Restore the book. Dazzling light erupts from the Storyteller's hands. Light pulses, forcing a squint in pain. When it finally fades away, you see a thick cloak in the elf's hands. This relic is truly legendary. It has absorbed power. It's too heavy for this world, but I have a feeling this cloak will suit you well. Yeah, the bound of possibility. See what this does. Why isn't it in my inventory? How do I get it? Legend rule, any skill check can take the best result in both rooms. Really? Does it drip? Oh, it does have lore. As you touch relic, vision washes over you. Experience the events of as you live through them. The crooked, rundown house creaks when I enter, as if it would collapse on my head at any moment. I lower my hood and bow respectfully to the mistress of this abode. One other highborn has arrived. What are you, sick? The old woman giggles shrilly. Her voice is repulsive and her appearance worse still. She could have been mistaken for a corpse wrapped in a pile of rags. Her face is unpleasant and her skin is greased as a bat wing, widely plagued with warts. I've come for healing, mother. Please be so kind as to help me. The druid chuckles nastily again. From the look of it, it's some kind of tick. She enjoys the feeling of power over me. I might treat you, girl, but not for free. No, not for free. Do you know what price I ask? I nod silently and take the gift out of my bag. Meat in slimy, bloody chunks. It's amazing how an insignificant and common thing can be valued so highly. The old woman grabs the meat greedily, bringing it to her face, making sure it smells right. You must be in real trouble since you have come to me with fresh meat. The hag draws closer, radiating sickly, sweet, unpleasant smell of old age. I impatiently wait for her to finish examining me. You smell bad, foul. You have committed a great crime against nature, and for that you suffer. The old woman's shrill voice becomes accusatory and imperious. You think that you can ransom yourself from your doom? Oh no, you will suffer, you will rot, and you will bleed for your sin. My patience runs out. With a quick gesture, I unchain my anchor, and the druid tumbles away, crashing into a pyramid of cauldrons, which cascade in all directions into a crumbled mess of broken shards. I grow sick of your antics. You understand who I am? Fine. You know too. You are oldest and strongest of the servants of Mother Vulture. You know how to heal what others cannot, and you will help me otherwise. The old woman cries out, frightened. She covers her face with her hands, her lips trembling. I wait apathetically for her to calm down. Realizing how close to death she truly is, the old woman hurries to comply. Her movements display efficiency that not only fear and desperation can provide. Herbs, both commonly known as arcane, fly into the cauldron above the druid's fire. They are followed by the meat I bought, magic powders, and potions from small cobweb-covered bottles. With deconcoction boils, the old woman cautiously approaches me and grips my cloak with her knotted fingers. Her demand is brisk. Give it to me, girl, I need it. And part with the cloak indifferently, and into the cauldron it goes. The old woman whispers incantations, seeming to take forever. Finally, she finishes the cauldron with her walking stick and pulls it out with a wet, smelly cloak, handing it to me. Put it on your shoulders. This cloak, like a leech, sucks any disease from the soul, heals any corruption. The world has never seen a relic greater than this. The cloak smells disgusting, but I don't care. I slip over my shoulders, feeling the magic lurking within it touch my dual soul. And then flame engulfs me. The fabric clings to my body, and the burning pain it brings unexpectedly strong. She dared to hurt me? Me? I rip off the damn rag, and the old woman's shrill laughter rattles my ears. You tricked me. The old woman seems ready to dance. Tricked you? Not a word I said was untrue. There isn't a relic in the world better at healing than the one I gave you. Neither magic nor gods will help you with your misfortune. You are doomed. You shall bear your wound till the last day. I clenched my fists, snuffing out the old woman's life. But her body writhes, and perhaps unnaturally. 4 black wings grow out of her hunched back. Her wrinkled neck lengthens and splits in two. Her gnarled head becomes a rather mismatching pair and the toothless mouths on both them open wide exuded putrid stench. Mother Vulture, do you honor me with a personal visit? The monster, with both heads lowered, looks at me intently. Its eyes sparkle with the same slyness as the last wear of the egg's skin. Begone, architect. Neither I nor anyone else can help you. The things you have done to yourself with your own hands can never be healed. You will endure pain for the rest of your days, and after that you will perish like every other living creature, from even the greatest of heroes to the meekest of swamp gnats. Such is the way of things. 'Tis proper. Everything that lives dies, so new life can be born out of it. Though wasting words, I retreat to the door. Even the mighty Usher of Phrasma herself couldn't help me. That doesn't mean anything. Impossible to heal, she said. I've done the impossible before, and I'll find a way now. Well, I had no idea what I was getting into there. Yeah. Well, I think it's a good place to lead off for today. We'll try to build the army back up now to see what progress we can make. See you later. Bye-bye.